All right, guys, welcome. This is informal, just wanted to get you guys know, but I tried to introduce myself to everybody. I'm Dan Grenier. All right, I'm the founder of P Real Estate Solutions. I've got a couple of associates here. I got Giancarlo over there. I've got Milena behind the camera. Noah just enjoying the actual presentation himself. And I want to start you guys off with a little bit of a story. Okay, I was at Christmas dinner with my sister, actually sisters and brothers, and my 18-year-old sister. I gave her a book for her graduation, and there I was asking her, did she read the book? Did she read the book? So to give you a little bit of a sense of what I was trying to do. Okay, so my sister, she has, I took on some pretty good real estate training. The company that trains me, I spend a lot of money for it. They offer 13 to 18-year-olds really good quality training for absolutely free. It's a 3-day seminar for these kids. And these kids come out of there understanding not real estate, but it's just financial wellness for them, right? And I'm trying to get my sister to go. Come on, we gotta go. And 16-year-old girls, not a chance in the world, right? So I try to get her at 16, try to get her at 17. Finally at 18 years old, I'm like, this is not gonna happen. Well, this company finally just decided to have a book. All right, you know what? She's a straight A student, has a 90 average in high school, graduating, going off to university. I got her the book. So there I was at Christmas dinner, literally just a month ago, asking her, have you read the book? All right. Next thing you know, she says, yeah, read about 9 pages. I'm like, 9 pages? Things like 150 pages. How did you only read 9? It doesn't intrigue me. It doesn't intrigue me at all. And I can appreciate that. But what I said was, but, and you can appreciate your older brother. Next thing you know, my sister's crying. So yeah, good for me. What I'm trying to get to, okay, is that what I was trying to teach her is financial well-being is not about what it is, like in real estate, for example, what it is you're investing in. I don't love real estate. I enjoy it. What I love doing is I love hiking. I love being with my family. I love doing things for myself. I do this because I love what I love. Right? Does that make sense? I'm an engineer. I was an engineer. I love engineering. I don't do engineering anymore. Why? Because it wasn't allowing to do the things that I loved truly doing. Okay? But I didn't tell that to my sister. My sister, I didn't tell her. I just told her, you gotta do this. You'll love this. Like, it'll change your life. She didn't get it. She's 18 years old. She didn't get it. I didn't tell her that. I just made her cry. Okay? Instead, what I should have told her was, that's the point. You don't find this interesting, and guess what's gonna happen in a few years from now when that not so interesting thing hits you square in the face? I'm not trying to tell you that this is interesting stuff. I'm trying to tell you that what you love, I want you to keep loving it. Right? I want you to keep doing it. So guys, that's why I got into real estate, and I personally think that commercial real estate is one of the impressive ways to invest your hard-earned money and then time to really change the landscape of your financial future. All right? So let's look at this in a numbers perspective. Okay? Residential. If we're looking at just flipping homes, because let's be honest, flips are sexy. You get to see a different different finish. Okay, not to mention there's a nice little return at the end as well. A good average flip should make you $30,000 a year. Make sense? Give or take. Some of them are higher, some of them are lower, some of them are home runs, and some of them are flops. But on average, let's say 30,000. Okay, so you buy a property, sell it. Next year, buy a property, you sell it, you made 30,000. After year 4, you stop that. Year 5 and 6 and 7, you made 0 because you didn't really do anything. Okay, well, does $30,000 really change the landscape of your life? If I gave anybody here $30,000 right now, I'm willing to bet next year you'll be in the exact same spot. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're someone who's a bum on the streets. If I gave you $30,000, you're probably going to be in the same spot next year. Okay? You'll be happy for a while, but then it's going to go away. That's why passive income in residential is extremely attractive. Okay? Because at that point there, what we can do is we can make $5,000 the first year, get another property, well, now we're making 10. Get another property, now we're making 15. Get a fourth one, now we're making 20, and we don't get any other properties anymore. Well, guess what? We're still making 20, 20, 20, 20. We're still making $20,000 every single year as it comes along. Now that's residential. Nobody's here for residential right now, right? So what is commercial? Well, I'll tell you right off the bat, commercial's adding a 0 to all these numbers. Maybe even 2, but let's just flip it around to just adding 1 0. You flip a commercial property, you're making $300,000. Now, who here thinks $300,000 you're going to be in the same spot here next year? I hope everybody's going to say no. That's a life-changing amount, okay? Unless you already had that life-changing amount come to you before, $300,000 is a life-changing amount. But let's go through that whole process I went through just for fun. Okay, 300, 300, 300, 300. Then you do nothing. You can appreciate you're not getting any more money. You're done. Now everybody likes 1.2 million. You worked hard for it. That's why passive is still very attractive for the same exact purpose. Who doesn't want to live for making $200,000 a year for the rest of their lives not doing a darn thing? Right? That's pretty darn good. But, and I put this button here, and it's with an asterisk, that $300,000 is still a life-changing amount. And how about I go flip one property before I start that passive? Right? Why not? The idea being that in commercial, the numbers are different, and now we can change the landscape of our financial future. Okay? So just a quick summary on here. So on the residential, right? Your $30,000 net profit. Passively, we can do 1, 2 units per property, right? And here's a kicker. You need to have your own credit. Okay? If you guys can't buy the property yourselves because your income ain't good enough, the property doesn't produce enough income to support itself according to banks. Okay? We always have our own opinions on that, but the banks always win. Okay? This is where commercial changes that. So of course, $300,000 net profits on average if you do it well, okay? I play that off as if it's nothing, but it's pretty substantial. But passively, we're talking about 5 to 100 units, okay? Plus, there's no limit to that number, let's be honest. And I put that 5 as just to say, it's around that, okay? Now, at that point there, commercial units are now bringing in enough money that the banks don't care about you so much. They care about the property because it's bringing enough money by itself. That as long as the commercial property is bringing enough money, you don't need your own credit. You just need the property itself. So think about, I can't afford a $100,000, 100 unit complex. Well, do you know someone who's actually willing to buy it with you? Because you don't need your own credit for it. The bank's already considering the income that the property's bringing. Okay. Well, that's a topic for another course, but the idea being that right now I want to talk to you a little bit about this. Okay. And if you want, you don't flip it, refinance it, and get into this. That's what today's all about. Okay, so let's go a little bit on the basics of commercial real estate. Does anybody know how to evaluate commercial real estate? How is a commercial real estate property evaluated? Actually, I'll do a little better question. Who buys commercial real estate? Does anybody buy it because it looks good, like an emotional buy? Is it the wife that buys it? Do you buy it because of the location, because the kids get to have a nice pool in the back? No, that's not commercial real estate. Anybody and everybody who buys commercial real estate is a savvy investors like yourselves. They want the top dollars, right? That's who buys commercial real estate. That's always the case. But when you're investing your money, there's 2 factors that always come into play, okay? What is my return and what is my risk? Remember that. What is my return and what is my risk. I'm more than happy to actually invest in McDonald's at a lower rate than some weed shop right now, because that's, who knows where that's going. That better give me a high return, okay? Because I have a better risk of losing money there. Value is driven from the income and the predictability of that income, okay? So when somebody tells you that, hey, take a look at this property, it's creating this kind of income, you've got one more quick question to ask, and it's a very important one. How predictable is that income? So I want to talk a little bit about that predictability, okay guys? So in a commercial property, what defines higher risk? What defines the predictability? Anybody? One, the property, right?
Vacancy rate.
Vacancy rate. That's location, right? That's not only location, that's also the type of property. So I'll give a great example on that one. If you have a 100-unit complex, multi-residential, or you have a single-family home, which one has the least likelihood of having a low vacancy rate? The 100-unit complex, right? Because you lose 2 tenants there, you're at 98. You lose 1 tenant, you're at 0. Now, that's we know in residential, you can go back and rent it pretty quickly, so that's okay, right? But now let's get that into commercial. In commercial, you have a 20-plex versus a 1. And how many one-pop shops do we see around? And you see them unrented. All of a sudden, they're not rented anymore. Vacancy goes to 0. My predictability just dropped. Okay, when my predictability just dropped, my value went down. Okay, so what type of property, how many units, where is it located? Okay, that cannot be emphasized enough. Okay guys, do you guys like this location, by the way? Like, not this property here right now, we gotta fix it up. Where it's located. Why?
High traffic.
High traffic. Anything else? Because I can get high traffic on Wyandotte on different really bad locations.
Different areas.
All right, we're on the east side. We got Walkerville, South Walkerville, really strong neighborhoods here, right? Now, where's the #1 employer in all of Windsor? Right here. Right here. Now, anybody think about the hospital? Hospital's right here. Now, what's happening in the hospital? It's closing. I got 1,600 employees right now. And next to you know that building's closing. So why do I still think this is a really good place? Well, let me investigate that, because that's something I want to look into, because that's going to define my predictability, right? Well, the city's already committed to one. Once that gets, once that's gone, we'll demolish it, not make it a Grace Hospital fiasco, right? Demolish it, get into Greenland so it can be developed right after that. Oh, development, I love that. Right, new development near to where I'm at, great, I like that. And here's the other thing, where's the hospital going? First off, it's going 10 years. I'm okay. Okay, that's 10 years from now. Near the airport, right? So now it's going to the airport, that's 15 minutes away. How many homes are near the airport? None. There's really not enough. People aren't moving there. They love these neighborhoods. They're willing to drive 15 minutes out. So I'm in a good neighborhood here, in the path of progress, right? So those are things that you want to look at. Now, what's another predictability that we need to look at? Who wants to rent it? I just said this before. Who wants to rent it to McDonald's versus your mom and pop weed shop? I just had a tenant while I was gone in Hawaii last week who just said, hey, my shop, and we'll walk through real quick. They just closed down.
Did they say anything?
Oh, I bought them out. We're good. Oh, they bought me out. We're good. Don't worry about that. No, the idea behind it is that their business went out of business because they were just trying it out. Yeah, that was money coming in, but there was very low predictability. If I had McDonald's in there, you kidding me? That money's coming in all the time. Right? That's predictable income that people are willing to pay for. So it's also your tenants. Think about what kind of tenants you have, because some tenants might be doing really well, but if the market goes a certain way, a product goes skyrocketing like steel did, right, because of the taxes that Trump imposed, next you know your tenant's out. You got to look into all these things.
You balance that out with having like a piece of property I'm looking at where you have a combination of both commercial and upstairs residential, so it kind of works out.
You evaluate it accordingly. That's exactly it. You evaluate it accordingly. So your predictability is just as important as the income it creates. Okay, because I can't emphasize enough. Sometimes you'll pay twice as much for the same amount of income, but you know income's coming. We do that in stocks. We do that in mutual funds, right? That's just how it happens. So how do we evaluate the income and how do we evaluate the predictability? So income is just your net operating income. Net operating means I get this much rent, I have that many expenses. Unleveraged, meaning before the bank gets involved. Unleveraged, okay? How much income is coming my way? Because nobody knows how that person's gonna leverage it that they were selling it to. Okay, so unleveraged. And in commercial, yeah, you know what? These are rules of thumbs. You can change the numbers. It could be 55 to 65%. It could be 50 to 70. Depends on what you actually have type of property. For now, let's just estimate 55 to 60% of your gross income coming in. Okay, so you take all the rents coming in, and remember, you're not self-managing this, okay? We're investors. Sorry. We're investors here. Okay, so when you get these types of commercial properties, you're not self-managing. You're managing. You got your management costs. You got your building costs. You got all types of. You got your lawyer fees. You have your accounting fees. You got snow removal. You got taxes. There's a lot of insurances. I just was negotiating with my insurance company on this property. I got it down. I want to get it down because I want to get more net operating income. Because I can show someone that my property value goes up. So net operating income, that defines the income it creates. Now, who's heard the term cap? A cap rate. Okay? The cap rate is the rate of return that you're willing to take for the risk, for the predictability of that income. What kind of return are you willing to take unleveraged, meaning before you got the bank involved? Does that make sense? So if I'm going to buy a property for $100,000, before I even got the bank involved, I bought it cash for $100,000. How many thousands of dollars am I going to get back? Okay? And depends on the risk you're going to take. Because I'm going to say, if I'm getting a weed shop, I'm investing in weed, I want a return of $25,000. That's me. I don't know if that's a good number or not. But if I'm going to invest in McDonald's, I want $4,000 back. Because I know I'm getting that $4,000 back every year. Make sense? So what's that cap rate? And all that cap rate is the income it's creating divided by what we determine is the value of the property. That's just simple math. That's all it is, right? It's the ratio of the income divided by the value. That's your cap rate. So anybody know what a cap rate is here in Windsor? Oh, actually, before I get into that, two more things I want you guys to look into when it comes to, really look into when it comes to commercial real estate. Always check your basis. And what does that mean? If all of a sudden somebody takes this building, right next door there's a parking lot. Okay, I want to try to buy it from Franco's. We'll see if they'll let me. If somebody goes ahead and buys and builds this exact building, brand new, okay, I want to make sure that I bought mine for a lot less than what it cost them. Why? Because they'll start renting theirs out for the same price like they can, because they bought it for the same amount, so they can actually rent it for the same amount. Where are the tenants going to go? My old piece of you know what? Or are they going to go to a brand new state-of-the-art facility? So check to make sure that you are not buying things at brand new repair cost, like replacement costs. You want to make sure that you're buying things at a discount so that you can undercut other people around you to bring your tenants in. Does that make sense? Because a property that's there's no income coming into this property, it's worth zero, okay? Nobody's buying a property that doesn't have any income. It's useless. So make sure you always check your basis. Why am I saying start with multi-residential? That's the easiest start. Why? Predictability. Predictability. Everybody needs a home. Doesn't really matter what happens, everybody needs a home. Okay? All right, so Windsor cap rates. Anybody have an idea what they are? Don't worry, I didn't know when I started, dude. What was that?
I said it depends.
Oh, you're more than right. You are more than right on that one. It does depend. It depends on what your predictability, depends on the type of building, it depends on what you're getting, depends on the location. Okay? Really, you're looking at about 5.5 to 7.5. Okay? If you're talking about a really quality, newer, multi-residential building, it's got about 20 to 100 units, you're pushing that 5.5, even maybe a little lower. We've seen some that are borderline below 5, right? Right? But some people are looking for a dream. But other times, the reality is those are pristine, like they were trying to get to top dollars. Other times, you have 7.5, and that's a property that's, it needs work. It's not necessarily in the best location, or it's not really fully tenanted, or has bad tenants in it. I'd even bet, however, the warehouses or the one, like those types of garages places, I'm willing to bet I'm not paying 7.5. I might be paying about, on average 8, 9. But you get the point, right? So let's just say we're at about a 5.5 to 7.5. But nobody came here for a lesson in commercial. Actually, did come here for a lesson in commercial, but realistically, I want to show you guys what that means when it comes to this property here, right? So let's go again through a walkthrough of this property itself and what I was faced with when I first saw it. So 1569-77 Tecumseh Road has 3 residential units and 2 commercial units. Upstairs, there's 3 residentials. Downstairs, side by side, there's 2 commercial units. 2 1-bedrooms, rented at $11.50. Oh, sorry, 1 2-bedrooms, rented at $11.50 a month. Inclusive, all inclusive. Now, anybody think that's high or low rent? It's low. That's low rent. And actually, it's an updated unit. I want to put a little bit more money into it, fix up even nice. It's low rent. 2 1-bedroom units at $850 and $950 all inclusive. High or low rents? They're low rents. Okay. And all inclusive really scared me too. Total income, $2,950 per month. Commercial unit, that one was being rented for $1,500 a month. They paid their hydro, thank God. Finally, he started doing something right. Okay, now just so you guys understand, water here, there's only 1 water heater in the entire building, so you can't necessarily you can't separate the water. Fair, okay? Now, there's 2 gas furnaces, but there's only 1 gas meter. So how are you going to, so it's hard to separate the gas, but I can separate the hydro at least. On every unit, there's 5 meters here. Why are these guys all inclusive when there's 5 meters? Let's get them off that, right? So altogether so this was the asking price, $550,000, okay? Rental income, $4,450 a month. We estimated approximately, because he's got these books, honestly, that I think he just wrote it on a napkin and said, oh yeah, this is about what I'm paying. You're not gonna get great information from people what their expenses are. We're gonna try to change that when we sell it, but that's not the point. We estimated he was at about 55%, meaning he had a lot of expenses. Think about it, he was paying all the utilities, right? So who wants to get on their calculators right now? Seriously, guys, pull them out. Okay? So do you guys remember the equation for your cap rate? Do you guys remember the equation? It's your NOI, your operating income, divided by your value. Okay, that's what he's asking. So we have an NOI, we're gonna have 55% of the income. The income is $44.50 times 12 months, by the way, and divide that by $550,000. What do we get cap rate? Well, 5.3%. So he was trying to sell this at a 5.3%. Now, he had a correct beef on that number because the reality is this unit was vacant, still is vacant. So he had a bit of a beef on that. Okay, I didn't do the math on the screen, but I'm gonna have you guys do the math all over again. Let's assume that this unit here was rented for, same as the other one, $1,500. So we're gonna increase that number to $5,950. Okay, what's my cap rate at $5,950? 7.1. Now, we're at 7.1%. Is a potential rent predictable? It's as unpredictable as it gets. It's potential. It hasn't even happened. But he's still at 7.1? No, not a chance in the world. That's so unpredictable. I'm not taking that. Right? Not to mention, look at this condition of the property. Well, you haven't even seen it. Well, look at that door. Okay? You can appreciate what the rest of the property is and was. All right? That's unpredictable. So I'm not buying this at a 7.1. Not a chance. Not a chance. What did I buy it at? We'll hold off on that. So guys, I want to stop you here real quick. I want to take this. Now you got a good sense of what I bought it for. Let's go walk around. Okay, let's take about a 20 minutes, 25 minutes. I don't want to go, there's not too much to see, okay? It's just a property. We're going to go through every unit real quick. One unit, however, is actually not vacant, it's occupied. Okay, as much as I want those tenants gone, I'm going to respect them, okay? And I will ask that you guys respect them when we're in the hallway upstairs. Please be, try to keep the noise down. Once we get into units, we can ask questions. But there's nothing too complicated. I'll explain a little bit of what we're doing. Move on to the next one. Make sense?
Yeah. We do have to go inside though.
Oh, we'll have to just go outside real here.
You have a jacket.
Yeah, make sure you guys get your jackets. Just go out there. So we'll start right here in this unit here. Okay, guys? This is going to be here. Okay, I have drawings, guys, of what we're doing. If you want to just take a quick look around. As we go along, you can pass it to people who, if they said, just bring them back here when we're done. So this is a retail store, and I'm going to want to keep this as a retail possibility because I'm going to be moving my office here. But the reality is I'm also going to want to move out. I'm just doing that until I can find a quality tenant. Remember, quality tenant, right? Someone who I can predict that income coming in. So we're gonna be fixing this up. Let's go to the back real quick. I know, John, you're gonna have to probably put your light on your phone here. Okay? I'll do the same myself here.
You do have the washing machine.
Yeah, that's not enough.
Where's your contractor? Kick him in the butt.
No, my electrician did well. He got me the light in the front.
Teasing.
So guys, in the back here, okay, you can appreciate this space is really not, this used to be like warehouse type. Okay, because there used to be overhead doors coming in. Here, we're just gonna have offices. There's gonna be an office there, an office here. We're just gonna do some kind of little bit of office there. Kitchen behind where Kim is, right there. And we're doing a bathroom over here. Nothing changing much, but we're gonna make it look brand new, okay? Because of the type of floor, and the floor is uneven on certain spots, we're gonna be raising this floor. And not to mention, right near the door over there's a ramp. Okay, and you guys don't see the door's like about 8.5 inches higher than where you're standing right now. We're gonna raise the floor here, and by raising the floor, we're gonna have a nice, it's not gonna be cold on your feet, brand new, nice level floor. Reason for that is, what do I want to do? I want to do one, predictable income, and two, I want to raise the income. Those two offices, I can actually rent them out to anyone. Those two offices up there, I can rent them out to anyone. Maybe about $400 to $500 each here. And those are open spaces. I can probably rent them out for maybe about $200 a month each. Right? They'll have access to a brand new kitchen, bathroom, and let's have a bit of fun, guys.
Are you going down?
I'm going downstairs.
Oh, 90.
No worry, there's lights. And yes, I want everybody down here. It's not that bad.
I like the hanging light there.
Oh yeah. So when we bought this property, when we looked at it, this basement was full of junk, absolutely full of it. Now, how are you going to be able to examine and envision that? Just wait until we get the next unit next door. You'll see it's full of junk. Okay? I wanted to say, guys, welcome to the future boardroom of the Windsor Real Estate Investor Network. No, I'm not kidding. It really is going to be right here. Okay?
Separate entrance?
Why? Yeah, it's got one right there. Not separate entrance, no, it's just two accesses. The reason why is because now I can finish this and add more square footage, and I can rent more square footage. And all I have to do is put my wall there where Jaleel is, and look how much space. Let's assume the people upstairs are retail. They need space to actually store their stuff. They could rent down here if they wanted to store their stuff, or there's still more room back there. There's plenty of room, okay? So I saw this as potential to finish up nicely. More ways to actually increase the rent, increase the value of the property. Make sense? All right, guys, we're gonna go. What was that?
You're going to have a bathroom down here, right? To be able to.
It's just a boardroom only, so they'll have access to the main bathroom that's right up there.
If it was residential, you gotta have a bathroom.
Yeah.
And that's why I get an architect to confirm things.
Right.
All right, guys, we can go back up these stairs here.
Being standard.
All right, I'm gonna get my coat on. Oh, you've just found out where you are.
It's good one.
I did too, to be honest.
It's okay. Technically, my wife owns this too, and she has not seen it. So it's a little different that way. Okay, I'm just gonna get the keys out before, so that way I'm not fiddling with the keys while in front of the front door there.
You want me to run ahead? Or you got it?
No, I got it here. All right. Let's go, guys. All right, so I don't know where the lights are in this place here. So I'm just gonna use my phone. Is there lights in the front there at all? I don't know.
Was this a pet store?
This was a pet store.
What's this? Alarm.
They had an alarm here that's still, I don't know if it's just still active, but it's not gonna go off. No, I know that because I was in here yesterday. All right, guys, I asked, first off, please respect that they are moving out, so please don't touch this up. But not bad, right, guys?
Oh, yeah.
Nice and clean. So they just moved out, and I'm gonna be able to rent this pretty decently, right? They had pretty low rent at $1,500 a month, I'll tell you right off the bat. All right, so guys, pulling the curtain a little bit. My purchase price was not $550, my purchase price was $470,000 on this one. All right, I'm gonna pull up my calculator. Actually, I already know the number. 8.3. That's the cap rate I bought it at. Okay, anybody think that's a good cap rate? I still think that was actually low for the condition of the property. Because this was rent potential, not rent.
So that's included in the calculation?
Huh?
That's included in the calculation for your fee?
My 8.3 was the 1,500, yeah, 1,500 here. Now, that being said, who knows, the rents were pretty low upstairs and this and that, so I knew I could get those rents up, right? Not to mention fix up the property. Those were rented, by the way. Tenants left. I bought this property 3 months ago, and they just left. I'm like, thank you. Wow. I'm losing income and I'm thanking you? That's strange, but I understand why now. Okay, so obviously there's rehab costs. Okay, these are all red for a reason. This is costing me money. Okay, so I've got purchase $470, rehab cost $150, and I got other fees. Other fees meaning that the bank wasn't really, they'd finance this place, but they weren't gonna finance the full $470. And not to mention, I'm fixing this up, so I'm gonna try to get bank financing after I fix it up. So I got a private lender. Private lender at 10%, right? No, but financially, it's just a strategy that I do. It actually works for me very well. It's a really good strategy.
Now, is the bank taking you at, is obviously it's not.
65%. No, the bank's taking me the income. 65%. So, they might go up to 70 depending on my plan or something like that, who knows. So I got other fees. I got my lender fees, I got this and this, that, account fees. Now, after I get all through that, I'm gonna have a 5-year income of $150,000. Now that income includes the fact that there's expenses as it go on. So that's back in my pocket. Okay, that's after I paid my bank, that's after I paid everything to everybody else, back in my pocket. So all said and done, I'm all in on this property at about just under $500,000. Make sense? Okay.
150,000, that's your cash flow?
That's cash flow.
Yeah, that's cash flow, that's after expenses.
That's after all expenses, cash flow coming in. Make sense?
30,000.
Okay. All right, so let's go through this all over again. Okay, but we'll make it quick. I don't have all these types I got 3 2-bedroom units in 5 years, I'm comfortable in saying $1,500 a month, plus hydro. I got 2 commercial units. Now, I'm gonna be fixing this up nicely, and I'm gonna fix up the bottom space. It's gonna be $13 a square foot, you think is a pretty fair number around here? Okay, I know some places that are doing it at 10, 7 to 10, but 7s are warehouses, 10s they'll do offices, but by the way, here's the trick. At 10, they get you to pay the taxes, they get you to pay this, they get you to pay that, so as a tenant, you're paying more. This is 13 all inclusive, okay? That's $13 per square foot per year. Once I finish this place up, it'll be about 2,300 square feet, which means a rent of $2,500 per month. Okay, yes, they pay HST in commercial, that's not the point. The other unit, I'm just gonna leave it as is. Maybe we'll be able to finish the basement eventually, maybe the tenant does, and then they leave and I rent it for hire, who knows. But 1,750 square feet, same amount, $1,900 a month. Something you guys don't know, because I haven't showed it. On the side of the face there, I'm gonna be putting a big sign right on there. That sign's gonna be saying, Team Gorin we'll sell your property. Team Gorin, by the way, helped me buy this property. Look at that, right? He's right there, okay? Now, he's already willing to put a big sign up there. If you guys continue driving, go and near George, he's already got a big sign. I'm gonna put the exact same sign on the side of my building. He's gonna pay me $450 a month for that. How much maintenance is on that, by the way? I love that. No maintenance, I get all the income coming in. That sign alone will be bringing me, increases the value of this property by, do the math, it's around $70,000. Just by putting up a sign there, I increase the value of the property by $70,000. Not to mention I'm getting $450 a month for it. Okay? Oh, and by the way, who knows Goran Dotorovic? Is he a pretty good, like a high-end realtor? Is that then predictable income? Right? Yes, it is. People know that. So I just increased my income to $9,350. Now, is it gonna be more predictable income now, given the quality of the place? I'm gonna be looking for quality tenants. I'm not gonna let just anybody get in here. Well, it's the same, it's more predictable. Okay, so what's a good cap rate to sell the property at? What do you think a buyer of this place will be accepting a cap rate for? Give me a number. 6.5. Seems about right? Okay. I think that actually is a reasonable number. So I'm gonna be conservative and say I'm gonna sell it at cap 7. Okay? I think I'm gonna be a little bit on the lower side than that, which would be awesome. That's bonus if I get to 6.5. If I get to 6, honestly, I might just quit. Because the numbers are gonna look like, no, I'm not gonna quit. But the numbers look really good. Gross income, we're at $9,350 a month. Now, I'm gonna have less maintenance, right? Less expenses. So what's gonna happen? My NOI is gonna be more percentage of my gross income. So I'm gonna go up to 60% of my gross income. Okay? Guys, this is what you guys came for. Do the math. Pull out your calculators. I'm not kidding. Do the math on this one. Oh, my realtor just told me that she doesn't know what that, why did I tell her you're missing out on this? All right, so I don't need to do the math, but I'll show you guys. 60% times $9,350 per month times 12. All right? That is the NOI. Okay? Now, we're not calculating the cap rate, we're calculating the value, so now we're going to divide that by the cap rate. Divide that by 0.07. What do we get?
961,000?
Wow, your math is really good in your head, eh?
No, I just remember the number after I looked at it.
$961,000. What am I in on this property for? Under $500,000. That's selling it at cap 7. Now I got a realtor fees, little closing costs. All right. I'm making, and if I sell that at cap 6, right? Do that number again divided by 6 instead, that goes up to, well, 1.1 million. Who's okay with selling this for $961,000? Who wants that $450,000? Who's okay with selling this at $800,000? Right?
Now, in the previous one, you mentioned that your cash flow was at $30,000 a month. Now, that was before you've done any of the upgrades? That was where it was before?
At $4,450 a month.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
what I was saying, yeah. It was prior-
That's what the seller had it at when he was selling the property.
Yeah.
Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to rent everything out, get it in a good state, get it at higher rents, put that sign on the side of the building that we're working on right now, and I'm going to raise that to $9,350. If I can get more than that, awesome. If I get a little bit less than that, I know I've got plenty of room to play with. Right? And that, by the way, that's going to be my asking price right on there. Exactly to the T.
Dan, what's your timeframe then to flip the property, like to resell the property?
So the time frame was 5 years. Was. It might be 2.5. And tenants are leaving me that quickly. All right? But here's the catch. I need to make sure that I have quality tenants in place. Okay? If that unit up there, I'm going to keep it as a 1-bedroom, and then I get a tenant, I got to wait for them to leave before I get the 2 bedrooms. Okay? Maybe I sell it with the potential and I tell the new owner, look, these guys haven't left yet, they're paying top rents, but put another $5,000 into it, get 2 bedrooms and you're gonna increase that much more. They will pay for that additional rent potential. Not at the same rate, but they'll pay a little bit more because there's potential. I gotta sell that to them, right? But I'd rather do it myself so that they actually have it already done, ready for them. Okay? So, how do you get started? Well, first off, I'm videotaping this. Go through the math real quick, okay? Familiarize yourself with the math. Then, build relationships. Commercial real estate agents, okay? Have them send you information. Hey, this one's available to sell. This one's available to sell. Here are the numbers. Practice, right? Do some quick math on it. Talk to other investors. Who up there is actually looking to buy properties? Take care, guys. Who out there is looking to buy properties? Who out there is who's out there selling? Maybe you can actually collaborate with someone for free and find a way to offer them a service for absolutely free, and then you can actually learn from them. Maybe it's a matter of just finding other investors who are buyers. You go and find a great deal. And by the way, I would pay not quality money, but decent money for someone who keeps finding me these types of deals. Now, 5 units, less predictable. You find me a 100-unit property, I'm gonna pay you 25 to 50 grand for that lead. Right? So long as the numbers work for me, because I'm not talking about making $400,000 on a 100-unit property. We're talking about now making about $1.5 to $2 million, if not more, on those types of properties.